This might be one of my most anticipated packages, but I'm not sure. But judging by where it's sent from, I think it is. Hee hee hee. Okay, so first thing I would like to say is one, FlipForge sent this to me for free for review. Thank you so much, FlipForge. Been a huge fan of the edit, and if you already know that it's, well, this is the edit light. This is Telestro's. He sold it to me. And if you know that that's not an edit, then whoa, look at all these stickers. I believe some of these are designed by I'm Not Eripo. And this one as well. Two of each. So, thank you. We have a spare blade. This one is the Crescent blade. I forgot what the official new name for it is now. And here is the palette, as well as an extra little T6 bit. It's very small, very cute, very small. Thank you so much. Now, that said, again, this is a free product. This is one of the few things that I've received for free and to keep. Wow, thanks. But I will not let this affect my review, at least to the best of my ability. Let's give this away. It is 3 ounces exactly. Okay, cool. So here's the situation. One, I got to design this myself, and then FlipForge sent it to me. I asked specifically for the FlipForge logo. You can just get 2 letters, but I figured, I'll just get the logo. I think it looks better. This is the chopper blade. There are 4 blade types. This used to be called the Crescent Moon. I don't remember what it's called now. I'm just going to double check right now. This is also the Elite palette, I believe. FlipForge, the palette, or the Premium palette, I guess. I have not flipped the regular palette, but alas, despite the ability, I'm going to do a tier list. The regular palette is going to be one that I'm going to have to forego and hope that they're like similar enough. So the premium palette that I have, okay, so this is the Chisel Blade, formerly known as the Crescent Moon. This is the Chopper, and there's also a Machete, which is similar to the Chopper, but it's smoother up here. And then there's the Tie, which is the dual, like the DE version of this one, where it's like up and then it closes out here. The Chisel is the most neutral. This is then the next one, then the Machete, then the Tie in terms of neutral to handle bias. Let me just double check. So this is 3.01 ounces for the premium palette, and then the Elite palette is also 3.01. So I do believe it should flip the same, but how they look interior is. So the palette's really cool in that you can customize everything you want. So you can choose one of 4 blade shapes. You can purchase other blade shapes. FlipForge included 2 for me. There is this beautiful logo, and so you can design the blade. You can design if you want to get this interior section, I believe, or no, if you want to get text. You get text here, like these letters, it has to be black faces. Then you have these interior grills, and then this is a fake sandwich. It's not actually a sandwich, but yeah. And then, of course, the main body that surrounds it. Now, I will say, to start off with, while I am incredibly excited, I do want to point out that, one, this is labeled as lavender, and it's not lavender. So do be aware that lavender is not actually lavender. It's more of this sort of blurple, I would say. But yeah, that's really the situation. And this up here is mint, which is light bluish. Like, I guess this is mint. I didn't realize that this is supposed to be mint. So do be aware that some of the colors are not exactly how they appear. So mint looks kind of light bluish, more so than it looks greenish, I would say. But I guess my critique to Flip Forge would be like, I don't know, maybe make the colors a little bit more accurate. Let's give this a flip though. Okay. So I was like so torn between trying the chisel blade and the or like the machete, because I think that I already have a chisel blade here, right? And I was like, well, I love neutral, but I wanted to try something new. Actually, let's hold these up next to each other. Here it is. The Palette Premium and the Edit Light. So they seem to be largely the same. Actually, you know what? No, there's more important things to compare. So the height is largely the same. The handle thickness, though, as you can see, it's much thinner. Like, these are quite blocky, but these feel more in line with what you would expect out of a metal Balisong. Let's find one that's like, here's the Corvus. Actually, yeah. So, like, this one's still bigger than the Corvus, which is a relatively light Balisong. But then if we compare with this chunky-ass rep, the rep is, like, the same. So, like, compare that. This plastic is about as thick as, like, a sort of, like, a thicker Balisong, at least the rep, in my opinion. My rep is a little chunky. And so that's really cool. And the Edit Light, I believe, is like under 3 ounces. So this being 3 ounces flat, this feels really nice. Like, just doing some fans already, this feels quite good. I was asking in case I didn't like the chopper, that I'm sure that this would be like better. I will test it. Maybe not on camera because it would involve a lot of disassembly and some shit like that. But like, holy shit, just from fanning, I can tell that I like this. Chaplains are very easy on this piece of cake, very smooth, very comfortable. It is quite clacky, so do be aware of the noise. Fuck. No. Honor. Oh. This just looks so cool. And what is really cool is that he basically was, or they, I actually don't know Flipforge's gender, but they were trying to make more color customizations. I wanted each color to be different, but some people have done some really cool colors. Like, I saw a Hatsune Miku color one. I was like, I want that, actually. I love Hatsune Miku. Let's see. So I think I do feel like the smidge of handle bias on the chopper blade. Fanning wise, it feels good. And I will say that, like, I have, no, I don't think I have any special texture on it. There's texture. I will say that, like, compared to the Calico is, like, real smooth. And the Flip Forge Edit Light, I would say, mine has some texturing just because that's what Telestro paid for. I would say, okay, no, it does feel kind of smooth. Now, what about the edges? No, I think maybe I'm just trying to, like, get used to it. Now, I will say, this is clacky. Oh, shit. The Edit Light is way louder. That's good to know. I might just do a smidge of sanding on here. It's basically like the chamfers are an edge instead of like being super round, but it's like so minor. Not like a negative thing, just like a mild observation that I might just like sand down. But this is really fucking cool. I do believe the palette premium costs $85 and the standard palette is only $55, which is really good deal. Now, I do believe there are some changes that can come in price based off of if you get the dual tone blade. I'm currently trying to see how to like make a palette cost more, just to double check. And I'm going to add that to cart because I do believe the edit would cost more based the edit and the edit light would cost more based off of certain things, like if you get texture, if you would get texture, or if you would do like the dual tone blade. But right now, at least, it doesn't have any cost increase. It just has shipping. So That is good to know. So if you get 85, for me where it ships to here, if I were to buy it, it would be $9 shipping cost, which is par for the course in terms of like, if you're paying for a shipping box. Um, but this is really cool. I like this a lot. I will definitely need some time with this before I can do a full-on tier list. But the palette was, or sorry, oh my goodness, I'm mixing up names. My Edit Light was my go-to travel Balisong, but it is exhausting to only travel with one Balisong, and so I'm excited for the prospects of being able to travel with others. I'll have to double check with Flipforge about TSA stuff because I think for the most part it looks fine in TSA X-rays. Just make sure that you have your plastic Balisongs in your bag instead of on your person. If it goes through your bag and security and nothing lights up, then ooh, you're good, you're great. But just be safe and be clever. This is really fun. I'm trying to think about other things to say. I biggest thing that stands out to me, honestly, the biggest thing that stands out is the fact that these handles feel really good, and they feel really small. Here's a Cycloid 2.1. The Cycloid 2.1 is like a little squarer, and the palette is a little taller. As for the width, let's see. I'm trying to see if I can. The palette, I think, is just a smidge thinner. Interesting. So, like, I always like the Cycloid 2, 2.1. The Cycloid TOO. I enjoy it as well. Whereas, like, I love all these plastic Balisongs. Otherwise, I wouldn't own them. But I feel like a lot of plastic Balisongs have pretty chunky handles. And the palette just feels really natural. It feels really natural. Now, as the cost of 85, that might be steeper than a lot of other of the products out there. The Edit Light is $50, and the palette regular is 55, so those are comparable, and the palette premium is 85. I do believe the calico is 50-ish if you get a single color, but if you want to customize it, it's like different. Now the Zippy Cycloid, I want to say, is 85 for the 2.1 and 975 for the 2.1. And the, let me see if I can find the HD. The HD is 95. Okay. Whoa, I swear to God that I did. Oh, okay. Pre-built versus not pre-built. Okay, so if you buy a pre-built, it's $89, and if you buy a Cycloid V 2.1 that is not pre-built, which is sold out, it is $75. I will mention that in my eventual Cycloid review. So, an $89 Balisong slash a $95 Balisong, like $4 difference between this and the Cycloid 2.1, and a $10 difference between this and the Cycloid HD. This does not include shipping because that changes based off of where you are. I like this jimping. It's pretty groovy, and I mean that in like the sense of like it's got grooves, but it feels pretty deep. The jimping on the Edit Light is very minimal. It's hard to see even in this lighting. So that is neat. But yeah, it's basically just some recessive grooves, whereas this one is much more like the entire thing is ridges straight across. The calico doesn't have that either. And the Jimpy Cycloid, not the Jimpy, how dare I? The Zippy Cycloid is, it has jimping here, but it's less so. This has more jimping, I believe. Oh yeah, that's a good bit more. That's like a whole finger's worth more. And then there's no jimping on the side here. I'm actually a little surprised that Zippy didn't include jimping on these, but that is fine. Yeah, no, it's just something. Huh, interesting. So, palette. First impressions, very positive. Is it worth it? I would say yes. Again, shipping from me would make it $9 more, so then it's just shy of 100. But if you want a high quality premium plastic Balisong, right now your game is between Zippy with the Cycloid and Flipforge with the Palette Premium, or even the cheaper version of the palette, which I am glad that he offers, as well as the fact that there's still the Edit Light. The normal edit, the original edit, is discontinued, but I'm sure you can find one out there if you're really curious. But the Edit Light is already quite good. Palette, though, palette feels really nice. And again, this is just the premium version. If you want just the flipping experience for $30 less, like, that might be worth it for some people. And you have options of blades, so if you like handle bias, get the dual edge one, or get the machete. You know, if you want dead neutral, then get this blade. And I will eventually test these off camera so I can give a full review, but like, my first impressions are quite positive. Unfortunately, Tay Flipper has just like, I feel so bad saying this, but people be like, hey, do you know anything about Tay? I ordered a Calico a while ago and I haven't heard anything. I'm like, I would honestly just try and refund it. I don't expect Tay to actually fulfill that order unless I can be proven right, which I want to be proven right. But right now it's just, you have better luck finding a used Calico, but like, he hasn't been able to fulfill orders. He's burnt out really bad, and it's a shame because I think the Calico and the Tay Flipper are good products, not that the Tay Flipper is available anymore. There's also the Chroma if you're in Europe. I do have my Chroma 3. There's also the Atomic, which I've never flipped. That one's in Poland by Notion Flips. And there's the Squidio, the Squiddy WH, which honestly, in my opinion, is the only Squiddy that's worth it. But you'll see more about my opinions in the plastic Balisong tier list that I'm finally going to be able to make, because I was waiting to try a 2.1 and to, at that point I already knew that I was going to get a palette, so I was like, well, I'm going to wait. Also, I was supposed to get a palette a while ago, but he or they, I don't know, sent one to Ethan Blade Bias to take to Blade Show. Got a lot of got a lot of feedback, and then was like, well, I got a bunch of feedback, so I was gonna wait to make yours anyway. So now I have one of my own. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to Flipforge. I have very much enjoyed this, and yeah, thank you everyone for tuning in. And if you like this, give a like, give a comment, give a subscribe, click that bell, tell Flipforge that they're great, and tell Zippy too, because Zippy is also great. Like, all these makers are really good. And while it's a sad thing that like Tay Flipper has not been in the game very much, like, I still very much like his products. I've never met him, but I hear he's a nice guy. But be nice to each other. Happy flipping. Have a good one. Bye.